we're looking at some word problems using polynomials. Let's just refresh our memory. How do you find perimeter of a shape?
Add times width.
Oh dear.
Oh, don't you add? That's area.
Perimeter, you're just going to add all the sides together.
So 2L plus 2. Wait, what is that?
If it's a rectangle,
I
perimeter.
just don't have my glasses, so I can't see what that says.
Perimeter.
Oh.
And to find perimeter, you simply add all sides together. And that's for any shape. Any shape made up of straight edges. It doesn't matter if it's a triangle, a rectangle, a trapezoid, an octagon. Who cares? As long as it's all straight edges, I just add all the edges together, and that will always get me the perimeter.
Wait, why would you be multiplying this?
Because you're about to do area.
Why would you write perimeter?
Because there are some perimeter problems on here. Area. Now it matters what shape you have. There's two shapes that we'll be dealing with on here. Well, really three. Area of a rectangle. Start with that one. What's the formula for area of a rectangle?
2L plus 2W.
That's perimeter.
L times W.
Yeah, it's just length times width. Or base times height. It's the same thing. So you just multiply the two sides together for a rectangle. That also applies for a square, right? Because isn't a square a type of rectangle? So you can just multiply the two sides together of a square. And I just want to refresh our memory what area of a triangle formula is.
1/2 base times height.
Yes, area of a triangle is 1/2 the base times the height. Do make sure that you remember that base and height have to be perpendicular to each other. So if you have a triangle, you just can't just pick two random sides willy-nilly. You have to have the base and the height perpendicular to each other. Half of that gets you your area. Okay, so if we look at the first one here, it's asking you to find the perimeter of that triangle. Here's the three side lengths. How do you find perimeter of a triangle?
You just
Add them all together. So everybody go ahead and try it. That's just like your homework last night. Right? Last night, was it?
Yes.
Yes. Let me give you a pass. What's up to you? Do you think you're going to go home? Or you might as well take it so then you know how to come back. Mm-hmm. Okay, we got something? No, all right. Okay. So I'm just adding the three sides together. So I'm just going to do this plus this plus this. I might as well go in order. Start with my highest exponent, which is?
6x squared, 8x squared.
Yeah, so I'm going to add those two together. That gets me 14x squared. Go down to your x to the first. Add them all together. What would I get?
19x.
And then just my regular numbers, add them all together, and I end up with
4.
positive 4. Is everybody okay with that? Did you get that? If you add all three sides? Yeah? Yeah? Okay, okay, okay. Now, let's do the third one. The third one says, find the missing side for the triangle below I know the perimeter, and I know two of the sides. So how in the world, let's backtrack. Don't do this problem yet. Let me ask you this question. If I had a triangle, and I told you this side was 12, this side was, I don't know, 14, and I told you that the perimeter of the whole thing was, oh, I don't know, 37. Could you find the length of that missing side? How? Tell me your steps. Go ahead, Lily.
You would do 37, well, sorry, I write it this way, but never mind. 12 plus 14 equals 37.
What?
12 plus 14 equals 37. Oh, 12 plus 14 plus x equals 37. That's what I wrote.
You could do that, sure. This plus question mark gets me 37. Haley W.
Add them 14 and 12 together, and then
You're thinking angles. But I like adding these two together. I'm not going to subtract from 180. I'm just going to subtract from the perimeter. That's what I would do. Add the two sides together, and then subtract that from the total perimeter. And whatever's left, that has to be this side. So what's 12 plus 14? 26. So all I have to do is take the total and minus 26 from it. That means the missing side must be 11. Obviously nothing's drawn to scale because it looks like it's supposed to be longer, but whatever. So we're going to use the same idea. We'll add the two sides together that we have, and we'll subtract it from the total perimeter. You with me? So look at what we have. I have these two. I'm going to add them together, and I'll subtract it from the total. So add two sides together. What does that get me when I add these two sides together? Careful. Make sure you're doing like terms with like terms. 5a plus 8b plus 3c. Everybody see that? When I add these two together, that's what I got. Now, I'm just going to take my perimeter minus the two sides. And whatever's left will be this missing side. So the perimeter that they gave me was 12a plus 7b plus 5c. From that, I need to subtract the two sides. The two sides are all of this, 5a plus 8b plus 3c. Didn't we learn yesterday how to subtract polynomials? Notice that I put these in parentheses. Did I have to do that? Yes, because I need to subtract this whole thing. All of it. So when I go to subtract, remember how this looks. The first piece stays just as it is, but now I have to minus 5a, minus 8b, minus 3c. And now I should be able to combine like terms, and this answer is that missing side. There it is. You could always check yourself by now adding the three sides together and seeing if it really does add up to be the perimeter that they gave you in the beginning. So I just check quickly. If I add the a's together, 7a plus 7a is 14a, minus 2a is 12a. Yep, that's right. B's, 8 minus 1, yep, that's 7b. And then c's, plus 3, plus 2, yep, plus 5c. Hooray! I know that I'm right. We okay so far? I'll take your silence as a yes. All right, awesome. Jump down to number 6. Number 6, I ask you 2 things for each rectangle. Find me the perimeter and find me the area. Go ahead, find me the perimeter. I'll give you a hint. If this side is 7x, what's this side? Also 7x! It's a rectangle. So the opposite sides are going to be the same. Did you get the same as me for the perimeter? Right here. Now when you go to find area, remember area is just base times height. So I need to do 7x times 2x squared plus 6x minus 3. You guys know how to do that? Go ahead. When you're done, see if you got what I got. When you're ready, go ahead and try the second rectangle. So again, I want you to find both perimeter and area. Don't look up here until you're done. In terms of t, you can. What did you say? Oh, adding all the x's together. So you'll have 7x plus 6x plus 7x plus 6x. Oh yeah, I got to so I have the x squareds, the x to the first, and the regular numbers.
Can we go back and do number 4? Or can we do number 5?
We will eventually. How we do on the perimeter for the second one? Did everybody end up at 8t plus 8?
Yep.
Okay. Now the area, you need to multiply these two together, right? 3t minus 8 times t plus 12. How do I multiply them together? FOIL. Binomial times a binomial. So hopefully, if you do that out, let's see what you end up with.
3t squared plus 28t minus 6.
Combine like terms. And that is our expression for the area of this rectangle. Are we okay? When you guys are quiet, I don't know if that means that you know what's going on or you don't.
I know what's going on, so
Let's look at the back. On the back, we have two different shapes here. So let's look at this first rectangle. Well, really, two rectangles. And let's read. For the figures below, find the area of the shaded region. Be sure to keep track of your work. So, how would I find the area of this shaded region? Just walk me through in plain English. Go ahead. Yep, the outer one, yep. That's it. I'm going to find the area of the whole big rectangle, and then I'll just subtract from that the area of this inner rectangle. And once I do that, I should be all set. So, let's kind of write out our game plan. So, I want the area of the big minus area of the little equals the area of my shaded region. Okay? So, I need to find the area of the big rectangle. So, I'll do it underneath here. Area of the big. So, how do I find the area of a rectangle?
multiply.
Yes, length times width. So I'll be doing 3t plus 8 times 6t minus 2. So everybody please multiply those two things together. When I multiplied those two sides together, this is where I ended up. 18t squared plus 42t minus 16. Is that where you ended up?
Yeah.
Base times height of the big thing? Okay, so I'm going to put that under here. 18t squared plus 42t minus 16. Now, I want to subtract from that the area of the little rectangle. That one's not so bad. I can actually do that one in my head. What's the area of this inner rectangle?
T squared plus 14.
What?
T squared.
It should be 4t squared, right? Because you're going to do t times 4t. So that's 4t squared. Yeah? Everybody agree? So, since that's only one term, I don't need parentheses. I'm just going to minus 4t squared from it. So there's the big minus the little. If you actually do that, that'll get me my final answer. So, my final answer is... I'm going to do this minus this, so I end up with
14t squared
14t squared.
plus 50t.
Is it 42?
No, 42t minus 58.
I don't know where you're getting those from.
I don't.
When you foiled the two together, did you get this? 18t squared, 42t, 16? Now I'm just going to minus the 4t squared from it. So there is the area of my shaded region. Yeah? Oh boy. If you look at the second shape, you have a triangle. It works the same way. I still want to do the area of the whole big triangle minus the area of this time it's a square on the inside. And whatever is left will be the area of the shaded region. Let me help you get started.
1/2 base times height.
Right, so I want to do area of the triangle minus area of the square will equal the area of the shaded region. So area of the triangle is 1/2, I'll do it over here, 1/2 the base times the height. So who's the base and who's the height?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter, but I'm going to use these two numbers, right? So 20x plus 12 and 10x minus 4. Now, how in the world do you propose we multiply these three things together? You can. You can distribute. I can do 1/2 right into that, and it'll actually work out pretty nicely. 1/2 times 20 is 10x, and 1/2 times 12 is 6. So I can now just FOIL these two, and I'll have the area of my triangle. So let's do that. First, outside, inside, last.
Wait, why do you have 2 times 10? 10 is 5.
I did half of this one.
Can't you do half of both?
No, if you do half of both, then you're doing a fourth. If you want to do, go back to this. Say I want to do 2 times 3 times 5, right? Don't you do 2 times 3, which is 6, and then times 5. You don't do 2 times 3 and 2 times 5.
100x squared plus 20x minus 24.
Yes. So there's the area of my triangle. What is the area of that square?
4x squared.
Yes, 4x squared. So I have 100x squared plus 20x minus 24. And then I'll subtract from it the area of the square, which is 4x squared. And the answer is,
96x squared plus 20x minus 24.
you got it. Okay, so we are short on time.